10 shops. The only variable cost is raw materials, which consists of 3 grades of raw meat. The standard cost of the raw materials used in the manufacture of the 100 kilograms of specialty meat pie is as follows. So this is our standard cost, that we incur. Okay, we've got our raw materials. We've got 3 types: type A, type B, and type C. All right, we've been given the kilograms and the standard price per kilogram, right? And we've also got a normal loss. Okay, so basically if we put in a total of 125 kilograms, 20% is lost, and we produce 100 kilograms. So this, we need to take note of this. In preparing its budget for 2022, the company assumed that there would be a market in Ireland for 125,000 kilograms of specialty meat pie, and that Sapes product would have a 40% share of this market. The budget is also assumed a selling price of 6 kwacha per kilogram for Sapes product. So we need to get this information here. We need to underline this also. Yes. So basically here what we're being told is, in the total market there will be 125,000 kilograms. So our company, which is Sapes, was supposed to take 40%. Okay, so we say 40% of 125,000 . We get my calculator. 0.4 times 125,000, we get 50,000 kg. Okay, so this is our share of the market. This is our output. We expect to produce 50,000 kg. However, during 2022, both Sapes and its competitors were adversely affected by diminishing consumer confidence in meat products. The actual total market size was 110,000 kilograms. Okay, so we expected that the market size would be 125,000, but due to diminishing consumer confidence, it dropped down to 110,000 kilograms of specialty pie meat pie, instead of the anticipated 125,000. And Sapes only sold 33,000 kilograms of its product. So this is the actual quantity we sold. So we had a budgeted quantity of 50,000 kg, and the actual quantity was 33,000 kg. So we go down. The managing director of Sapes Ltd recently explained how his company attempted to respond to the difficulties which it faced in 2022. First, we reduced our selling price from 6 kwacha, this is the budgeted selling price, to 5.9 kwacha. So this is our actual selling price. This was a modest price reduction in comparison with those of our smaller competitors. Second, we took advantage of falling market prices for some of the types of meat which we use as raw material for our product. With benefit of hindsight, we should have perhaps done more to increase consumers' confidence in the safety and quality of meat products. So basically, the quality of their product diminished and consumers are losing confidence in them. All right. We should perhaps have done more to increase consumer confidence in safety and quality of meat products in general, and our own product in particular. Okay, so this is the actual raw materials used by Sapes in 2022. Type A, 8,800. Type B, 19,200. Type C, 12,000. So in total, our total input was 40,000 kwacha. Okay, this is our input, total input. Actual price per kilogram 1.7 for type A, 3 kwacha for type B, 4 kwacha for type C. So the first part of the question is compute SAP's budget and actual total contribution for 2022. Alright, so remember, contribution, this is the money that is used to cover fixed costs. Contribution to cover fixed costs. After it covers the fixed costs, you should remain with some money for your company. Okay, so contribution is just your sales minus your variable costs. So let's tabulate our budgeted contribution and our actual contribution. So for our budgeted contribution, I'm referring back to this table here, this initial table they've given us here. All right, first we're going to find out how much was paid for type A, B, and C. All right, we want to find the cost per kilogram, the variable cost per kilogram. That's what we want to do. Okay, so for type A, standard is 25 kg. Standard price is 2 kwacha. 25 times 2, that is 50 kwacha. Type B, 60 kg, multiplied by 3 kwacha, we get 180 kwacha. Type C, 40 kg, price is 4 kwacha per kg, 160 kwacha. Okay, so remember, when you total these up, we're getting a total of 125 kg. So we find our total variable cost, which is 390 kwacha. Now remember, this is per 100 kilograms, okay, because in our information, okay, the standard cost of the raw material used in the manufacture of each 100 kilograms, okay. So this is the cost you incur for 100 kilograms. Now I want to find the cost per kilogram. Okay, so to get the cost per kilogram, we're just going to divide this by 100 kg. Okay, 390 kwacha divided by 100 kg, you get 3.9 kwacha per kg. This is our variable cost per unit. Okay, that's what we want it to be. First, we get our variable cost per unit. Okay, then we already have our budgeted selling price, which is 6 kwacha. Okay, so here we're only working with budgeted information. So earlier on, we got the 50,000 kg, which we budgeted, which will be our slice of our share of the market. Okay, it was 50,000 kg, right? 40% of 125,000, and we expected to produce 50,000 kg. Okay, so now I want to find our budgeted contribution. And so our budgeted sales revenue, we're just going to say 50,000 kg multiplied by 6 kwacha, we're going to get 300,000 kwacha. Okay, because our budgeted selling price was 6 kwacha. Then our budgeted variable cost, this is our total. We're looking with totals here. So our total budgeted variable cost, we're going to say 50,000 kg multiplied by 3.9, you get 195,000 kwacha. Okay, so we get our total budgeted contribution, 300,000 minus 195,000, we get 105,000 kwacha. Okay, so this is the total budgeted contribution. Okay, we can also get the budgeted contribution per unit. Okay, so first I'll put total budgeted contribution 105,000. Okay, so the budgeted contribution per unit, all right, remember 105,000 divided by 50,000 kg. Okay, the total amount divided by the total quantity. So the total budgeted amount divided by the total budgeted quantity. So our budgeted contribution is 2.1 kwacha per kg. Now we're going to compare this with our actual contribution, because we want to see, did we do better? Okay. Yes. So our actual contribution, what actually happened, instead of producing 50,000 kg, we produced 33,000 kg. Okay, this information is here in the question. Okay, here. SAP sold only 33,000 kg of its product. So this is the actual quantity. Our budgeted quantity was this one. Now we're dealing with our actual quantity. Alright, so our actual selling price also, our actual selling price is going to be here, this 5.9 kwacha. Okay, actual selling price, put it as AP, and our actual quantity AQ. Okay, so 33,000 kwacha multiplied by 5.9, 194,700. Right. Then, if you remember in the question, they told us the total output for each material. Okay. So we're going to get our total variable cost. Alright, so you're going to say 8,800 multiplied by 1.7. We get 14,960. $19,200 multiplied by 3, we get 57,600. $12,000 multiplied by 4 kwacha. These are the actual prices incurred here. Just multiplying by each of the kgs. 48,000 kwacha. Okay, so we're going to say 194,700 minus 14,960. I'm just subtracting each variable cost individually. If you want, we can total them up and then subtract from the 194,700. Okay, yes, minus 57,600 minus 48,000. Yes, our actual contribution is 74,110 kwacha. Okay, so let's compare it to our budgeted one to see if we did better. We did worse. Okay, we budgeted 105,000, all right, as our contribution, but our actual contribution was 74,140. Then our actual contribution per unit per kg, basically, because our units are kgs. So you say 74,140 divided by 33,000. The actual quantity, the actual total cost, the actual total contribution divided by the actual quantity that has been sold. So 74,140 divided by 33,000, we're going to get 2.23 446. That is our actual contribution. Compare it to our budgeted. Actually, our actual contribution per unit is actually better. Okay, it is actually better.